catch up, and that we would be the ones left behind. The stories I've been told, they never seem to leave my mind. And this road that I am on, I gotta stay here for some time. Somehow made it through without losing sight. And I still wonder where you are, and if you found a way out from the dark. The stories I've been told, they never seem to leave my mind. And this road that I am on, gotta stay here for some time.
Hello, hi, testing.
Bruises, they come and they go.
Hello, testing.
Try and keep up, 'cause this life's so much more.
Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum.
If you found a way out,
Okay, Johar.
come seek me out.
I did a lot of bad things, and never did I give in. Just 'cause the thought of being vulnerable made me feel less than I am. I have never felt home till you entered my door, and from that moment I knew that a home is whatever you choose. That's the thing about you. The best thing I did, and I want you to know, was letting you in. From that moment I knew that you were all I missed. Baby, it took just one kiss. 'Cause here in your arms I can finally let go. The rest of the world is outside when you make sure I'm all you missed. Baby, it takes just one kiss. Many years have gone by, many tears have dried.
Assalamualaikum. Are we good, Dr. Zuraidin?
Okay, waiting for class member. Dan sebab yang organize ni student, saya pemantau.
Oh, okay. So,
There isn't anything else that I wish I had done to be true.
So macam mana? Johar,
ya?
lama sangat tak jumpa ni.
Itulah. Bila dah lama ni, a lot of thing happen lah sebenarnya.
Itulah. Saya selalu jumpa gap. Memang selalulah jumpa gap.
Dia pun ada mention every time he sees you, jumpa ke mana kan, dia memang ada bagi tahu lah.
Cuma masa once PKP tu memang kita banyak jumpa online je lah.
I see.
Kalau saya turun KL tu kadang-kadang kebetulan dekat dengan tempat dia apa semua, kita orang minum-minum sekejap macam tu je. Tapi sekejap-sekejap pun jadi lambat juga.
Macam saya ni itulah, since PKP banyak di rumah lah sebenarnya.
Sekarang more onto freelance kan?
Freelance, betul.
So mungkin nanti boleh share lah macam mana freelance ni boleh menjadi salah satu source of income for IT expert. Sebab diorang ni semua nanti final year diorang masuk internship one semester and then that's it.
Okay.
Dia tujuan course ni memang kita jemput those who already in industry untuk share. Sebab apa yang dia orang belajar dekat universiti biasalah macam awak dulu kan, benda yang benda uncertain, tak clear, vague apa semua kan. Jadi masa dia orang intern one semester tu, hopefully bring along lah apa yang dia dapat dalam subjek ni supaya sebagai preparation untuk dia orang ready for industry lah.
Boleh, tak ada hal.
Kadang-kadang bila tengok dia orang buat PSM apa semua ni menangis-nangis kan, tapi nanti dalam industri baru dia orang tahu beku dekat bilik server macam mana. Lepas tu dapat bos-bos yang singa-singa semua.
Betul.
Tak ada belas kasihan.
Dia tak macam universiti lah. Ada university or college is best place to do lot of mistake sebenarnya. Sebab memang institution kan learn how to learn sebenarnya. This is actually the place learn how to learn. Okay, kita tunggu. Ni dah pukul 11 ni. Siapa group dah boleh start kot? We already have our speaker here.
Okay, Doctor, we will start now.
Okay.
So let me know once it is available to share lah.
Okay, sir, sure.
Jangan lupa rakam
Okay, Doctor, dah start record.
Alright.
Hello and a very good morning, everyone. Thank you all for finding time and joining us today. My name is Hamsawani and I will be moderating today's session. Our webinar today is about cloud computing is nowadays canvas, and we have Mr. Muhammad Johar bin Jaafar as our presenter today. I hope all of us will learn a lot today, and we have lined up for all of you to be fruitful and engaging. So I have a few housekeeping notes to make before we get started. Firstly, I would like to seek your cooperation in completing this webinar. Kindly keep your microphone muted during the webinar unless you have a question for our presenter, in which case you may turn it on. Otherwise, the participants can also submit your questions through the chat feature and I will bring it up to our presenter. So first of all, we would like to begin our program with a prayer to be led by Mr. Hamirul Hakim.
Al-Fatiha. A'udzubillah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala washabihi ajmain. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, hanya padamu sahaja kami panjangkan kesyukuran atas segala rahmat dan berkat-Mu bersempena dengan majlis penyampaian ilmu pada hari ini. Kami mohon inayah dan taufik-Mu. Kurniakanlah kesejahteraan kebahagiaan kepada kami. Bukakanlah hati-hati kami, lapangkanlah dada kami supaya kami dapat mengisi ilmu pengetahuan yang berguna untuk agama, bangsa dan negara. Ya Allah, ya Rahman, ya Rahim, kami mohon kepada-Mu agar Engkau berkatilah majlis penyampaian ilmu ini dengan limpahan rahmat. Semoga segala usaha kami dalam menjayakan majlis ini dapat keredaan dan hidayah-Mu. Sesungguhnya pada hari ini kami berkumpul kerana-Mu, ya Allah. Kami berkumpul untuk menimba ilmu, bertukar pendapat, menyumbang buah fikiran, menghubungkan silaturahim dan memberi sokongan ke arah meningkatkan lagi prestasi jabatan. Ya Allah, ya Zaljalal wal Ikram, kami mohon kekuatan dari kehadrat ya Allah supaya kami hadir pada hari ini agar kami dapat melaksanakan segala kebajikan. Dan kami mohon perlindungan agar engkau daripada melakukan keburukan. Ya Allah, kurniakanlah kepada kami kekayaan ilmu pengetahuan dan hiasilah diri kami dengan sifat lemah lembut, serta muliakanlah kami dengan ketakwaan dan indahkanlah kami dengan kesihatan. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina azabannar. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wasallam. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin.
Thank you, Mr. Hamirul Akim. So now we can begin as we are blessed with the prayer just now. Firstly, I would like to give some short but interesting facts from our speaker's biography, highlighting his expertise and status in the field. Mr. Muhammad Johar bin Jaafar is an engineer with years of expertise in a variety of fields including DevOps, computer systems support and administration, cloud computing, and web or app development. He was graduated with a diploma in computer system and networking from College Polytechnic Mara Batu Pahat, Johor. Then he accomplished his Bachelor of Engineering Technology Honors in Networking Systems at the Malaysian Institute of Information Technology, MIIT, UniKL. He is an expert in networking and cloud computing. Mr. Johar also has the experience on various operating systems, programming languages, database, and technology stack. He is also a certified technologist by the Malaysian Board of Engineers as well as an Alibaba Cloud Administrator. So that's all, and I hope we can now know more about Mr. Johar from his side. So next, to give us the opening remarks for this webinar, may I now call on Dr. Nur Zuraidin bin Muhammad Safa, who is the advisor of the subject BIW 33503, Special Topics in Web Technology. Welcome, Dr. Zuraidin.
Yeah, Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. Thank you guys for organizing this webinar. I believe it's going to be an advantage for you as a preparation before you leave school or universities. And from faculty and department, I would like to appreciate Mr. Muhammad Johar Jaafar, okay, the all-time colleagues. I believe his colleagues now. Beforehand is a student. I believe his experience in maybe a cloud, what we're going to talk about today, and any related to working experience is a invaluable experience that he going to share to us. Okay, I believe you may ask a few things related to what is you not clear, or maybe you want to know how the life of IT expertise in the real world before you leave school. Okay, once again, Mr. Johar Jaafar, thank you to spend your time, and we all are very grateful that you are here today. In that sense, thank you and Assalamualaikum.
Thank you, Dr. Zuraidin, for the wonderful remarks. Moving on to the main agenda of today's session, we will now turn the time over to our respected presenter, Mr. Johar. Welcome, Mr. Johar. Excuse me, Mr. Johar, we couldn't hear you.
Tak dengar? Masih tak dengar? Tadi masa sembang dengar tadi.
Is it better now?
Okay.
Okay, so I would like to apologize for now, just now. Okay, today I will be sharing with all of you here about cloud computing is nowadays canvas. So basically, it will be focusing a lot in excelling the field and how to start. So basically, as our moderator here mentioned, my full name is Muhammad Johar Jaafar, and I would say I was been around here and there, but I end up with an ex of Facebook, an ex of Razer Inc. So afterward, I found myself that I dive a lot in freelancing, which I do DevOps and cloud consultations. Currently, I'm based in Selangor. I'm a member of OWAPS Global, author of DevOps Diary, Startup Repo, and Nasima Builder. So basically, this is what I do during my free time and my full time. Other than that, I kind of people who actually love browsing in the internet, traveling, cooking. I do Python programming, which is I love to do, and Go, and of course contributing to the open source. So that's what I do. If you find that this is interested, you can just PM me later on, or email me, or contact me. Okay. So basically, what does it mean when we talk about this? So basically, whenever or wherever we go, in metaphorically, we see clouds in the sky that wave from one place to another. It provides covers from direct sunlight and helps us from the time to time. Sometimes, I would say, it brings the disaster along the way. So, due to the combustion, due to the evaporation and component between water and gas involved, by looking at this, it holds the same principle that has been used in cloud computing. So, let's look at the similarities between the terms, the definitions, and how it relates. So basically, when we take a look on this, cloud, the effect is actually about providing a platform and cover from sunlight and rain for Earth. But in IT, or in the definition of the technology itself, it provides platform, instance, or resources to communicate and serve. So, which this, if you take a look on it holds up the continuation, or also the effect that comes along, which the disaster. So in cloud, in the sky, it issue after the component is made up into a black cloud and after long raining. So when talking about this, the configuration also has the impurity, or either it misconfigured, or maybe if it's breaking the storm in the pipeline, it will not serve the concurrent user. So which lead business and operation issue. So this is what we can see and what we can feel. So moving along, when the effect of the disaster become visible, then I would say the material component is actually part of the where cloud does, which the water that solidify in cloud will perform a black cloud. Deeper its color, the more effect will come. Same goes with the security in cloud. So the security would be an issue, especially the exploit or the disparity that happen that happen during the configuration, and it will affect the business and the data exploit. So pretty much what we experiencing in daily life is actually happen in cloud technology. So the term is actually transferable. And to be honest, if you take a look on this, what does it take to see? Okay, pretty much it's just not just a trendy application for people who are actually store data, photos, videos online. For example, like you are using Google Cloud, Google Drive, Dropbox, OneDrive, yeah. So it is actually a part of business model, and it was taken by a storm. Cloud computing also changed in many areas, especially during the pandemic. The business stopped in different way and access data, but it also changed how the mentality of the people itself and how the business operate. Large business have an advantage when it comes to the cloud. To be honest, if you take a look on the giant company, most of them are utilizing the cloud a little bit, I would say, in a good way, while they are providing the free stuff to you. For example, Facebook. So you have been using Facebook. I don't know. Maybe you are not using Facebook. You are using Instagram, or maybe you are using TikTok, or right now you are using Google Meet. So those applications is actually giving you free stuff, but they have been using it in other ways. So with that, I would say they can most provider get every service for the perk they need, which the great thing comes in the cloud. This also even a small or medium-sized company also can benefit from it. So cloud computing, I would say it is important. On top of that, it offers a flexibility, data recovery, little to maintenance, easy access, and higher level of security. But of course, this is subject. It is a I would say compliance, also and a marketing. I would say an information or maybe like goal. But of course, it is subject to the person who actually doing the setup or the configure. Okay, so how do we get involved? Let's see. So digitalization is actually about one step. I would say an act, which is you have to act first, think later, and works every time. So when I first jumped into the cloud, I would say act first, because I know I don't have the skill, I don't have the magnitude to get to know about it. So what I do is act by subscribing one of it, and then later I know I have done or used a lot of most major cloud, from small services until quite large and extensive, I would say. But to make it effectively and cost efficient, I would say most company need to think about it. And also when you jump into a working world, this is are the steps that you need to know. Or I would say if you do an agency or maybe doing freelance, this is something you need to know. It is compulsory, and I would say it is the best processes that I felt that even it even works if you do on your studies, which you plan your stuff, you know what the list, especially in the computing world, cloud computing. The architecture is something that you need to know how it works, how it flows, and of course the roadmap of your product, the technology stack that involve, and always be prepared during the initial, because that is the moment of the crucial thing happen. So you have to be extra focused and put a lot of effort on it. I mean, I know it will be like tedious, boring, but it will help you in the future. And of course, what you do to use. So this is subject to what you need to know in order to achieve that. Okay. The next is build your product or resources. Like I mentioned before in here, act first, think later works every time. So you have to build your product or resources first. You have to do your work. Then you know about what's wrong with you. It's failing first, then you will success later. So this is way I'm doing it, but of course it also applies to this when I see in this scope or see this in perspective. Build the connection with it by keep up to date, continuously integrate, and offer brand cloud service, which this is what you do most of the time. So in cloud computing, this is the way that you do. You keep up to date, you continuously integrate collaboratively with your colleagues, with your partner, and also the important part is keep improvising your services or the product. Next, deploy and publish, which this will give you an insight what will be happen to you or to the product and to the resources. Ask your sales or marketing to do this. With that, you will get a lot of feedbacks. In terms of businesses, I would say market to the world is actually like something that you can follow up the step by step. If you are from marketing, this process is actually similar you can use. So if you are in the future, you are into sales, remember this. This step is actually applicable. And I have seen a lot of Google consultant, Facebook consultant, they are actually using this process and they achieve a lot of sales. Next, from there, you will know how it looks like I mentioned, and operation can be good. Once you know the process, your predefined will be not become waste. And it's a good start. I mean, start little by little and not start at the big start is actually a good and plus, not an ignorance on top of that. So don't worry, start small, it's okay. Continuous feedback will help you to boost out your understanding and strategies a lot, and you will use the consumption in the cloud in effective way. Then repeat all the process. That's it. So so far, is it okay, everyone? Or am I too fast or what?
So far, okay, sir.
Okay, cool.
Okay, carry on.
Okay, so how do we get involved? So with this full of solution, they will make sense to you when you are applying and also some way it does applicable to all situations. So it's a good process. When to define a good process, it is always able to see or visible that it is a reusable, repeatable in all situations. So with that, I would say this is I would say the whole paradigm. And in the cloud computing, these are mostly the process tools that involve to help you along the way. So where do you plan? How do you do the build? How do you do the integration, continuous integration, continuous deploying, how the operation does work, how do you monitor it, and of course, how do you release? So it is a good process, by the way. So pretty much this is are the tools, how do you communicate with your team, and it is real time. So with that said, there is no such thing about silo. It is has transparency on it. It's good, but nice. Now I know the canvases. So we know about those jargons, technical stuff. Now getting back to this, in terms of businesses and how do you choose your job in the future. So if you take a look on this is on base recent by McKinsey statistic where the COVID-19 has accelerated digitalization in terms of customer interaction by several years. From 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. So since 2020, so we have seen a lot of changes from a nasi lemak stall who actually able to do sales like a medium size or bigger size restaurant. So if you take a look in here, this is segregated by region, and of course the crisis itself. As you can see, the exponential is actually on the global and the North America, but of course Asia Pacific is not fall behind. So you can see the dot acceleration is actually 4 years to take effect. So we are lucky actually, because in Malaysia there's a lot of experts out there who are helping to digitalize people or businesses. So if you are into it, let's ride the wave. And this is the EDA beneficial, which event-driven architecture. So with this, we know how the cloud computing does and what is the architecture that we need to expect. So most of the time, when we want to, a good architecture is always referring to the event driven. So in designing or architecturing drafting, so this is the best way to choose an approach event driven base. So to help for growth, event driven will help a lot to in a way to increase the organization ability, and also to access the data faster in real time and take action on the data automation and data synchronization. So I would say pretty much what we do has right now, like you are texting with WhatsApp, Telegram, or that was one of the event-driven architecture. So yeah, it's a good thing, but and you have if you want to good at it, to be good in cloud computing, you have to learn or know about event-driven architecture as well. Not just this, but others as well. Because there's a lot of approach out there, but to me, is talking about high consumption transaction. So this is the way, or this is the approach that I can suggest. How do I align with the canvas? So to achieve this, composable infrastructure will allow you to do an extraction of computing storage resources, which actually can be controlled via API. So back in the days when I do my FYP, I would say I do software-defined network most of the time during drought. Even I do cry once because of I felt that back then I would say the documents, the white paper was not there a lot, and it was totally hard to find, and I have to translate it from Russian words, some Japanese words into English, so it's hard for me. So, but nowadays you can find a lot of materials you can read, you can view, yeah. So, in that situation, it promotes that the programmer is the next future of people who are actually able to do stuff. They can make you obsolete if you are from different domain, like you are from network, you are from the security. Yeah, that's why nowadays in cloud computing the offer is that way, because the situation, the community driven was to push the programming until up that way. So if you are not good at it, please practice a lot, and I'm sure it will benefit you in the future. So as a result, in nowadays, the composable infrastructure makes data center resources are readily available as cloud services, so they can support private cloud or hybrid cloud solutions. And today it's more like a block, like Lego, which you are able to construct massively and scalable businesses based on this infrastructure. Opening door to it will make an even more powerful evolution compatibility to your businesses. So if you, somewhere in the future, you are working with some company who are actually doing consulting, this will help you. Okay, so how do I learn with the campus? I mean, of course, that's it. There's nothing else. Any company or organization will see exponential growth if you are good at this. So if you are into it, these are things that you need to know. But of course, in moving to that, I would say the discipline is actually a lot. So you have to be patient with it. You have to be apart from patient, you have to put like concentration, a lot of concentration on it. So in this topic, how do I apply the job related to it? You have to good in programming language, OS concept, server administration, networking. Networking is actually quite diversified. So there is a networking as a system and also security. So you have to be good at it. If you are not, that's fine. But at least you have a basic, a strong basic understanding. Then it will help you much in the cloud computing and also how to design the architecture. So pretty much this is I have taken from route.sh. So this is more likely align what I have, and after that it is good to share with you. So If you take a look on our institution teachers, they are teaching you programming language and a lot of language that it doesn't make sense. But of course, that is the syllabus that will help you if you into DevOps or maybe cloud computing. So this is the area. And aside from learning the programming language, as I mentioned, you have to know the concept or as concept and also about how you administrate your server. So this is most likely the list. And I would say most of the prominent stuff is actually Linux. You will see a lot of the Linux resources. On top of that, you have to, most of it command line based. And of course, without forgetting about the network and security, there's also the protocol that involved during programming. Infrastructure as a code, this is the thing that you have to know. The containers, especially the architecture, how it was orchestrated, and how it was provisioned. So those things is actually maintained by the CI/CD pipeline. So which sometimes you are using Jenkins as a DevOps GitLab CI. And to monitor those things, there's a lot of tools out there. You can use Grafana or Prometheus with Grafana, or maybe you can use Monit, Zabbix, or maybe you do some interaction with the Elasticsearch cache or Elastic Stack itself, or maybe you use cloud provider services. So pretty much this is the way, and I would say most of the roadmap that you should have at least from the list itself, 70% or 60%, it would be great. Okay, so I wouldn't say you to start later. If you are actually going for internship, this is the best way, the best time you start equip yourself by starting today. I know the resources is actually quite expensive, but there is a free token that you can get as a student, especially you are UTHM student. So I see a lot of initiative in the background with Azure, with AWS, with GCP. So you are actually quite lucky, by the way. And okay, so I think that's it from me. This is Q&A session. If not, if my joke, if there is along the way, the jokes offend you, I'm sorry. And it won't happen again. But again, the number 3 is false. The end. That's it from me. Go back to our moderator.
Thank you so much for the great knowledge sharing, Mr. Johar. So since we are approaching the end of our session, we are now open to today's question from our audience. So you can type your questions in the chat box or on your mic to ask the question directly to our presenter.
Any questions for me? Or you want to know, or maybe just that the session was not really a thing. Any questions?
Diorang tengah busy final year project tu.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Everything is all due within these few weeks.
I see.
So the focus. There is one question maybe from Amirul Izwan.
Amirul Izwan, for financial business, secure ke simpan data kat cloud? Okay. Okay, to be honest, sebenarnya secure. It's just that sekarang ni, the way that you do. The issue is the way that you do. So, kalau ikut pengalaman, through VAPT ataupun vulnerability assessment penetration testing. I would say most of my client were actually banking line actually they need help in terms of expertise, and I would say that due to number of attempt or previous record, the base is there, so the loophole was created from inside. So susah sebenarnya nak cakap, tapi adalah lebih baik kita boleh tengok sini adalah approach architecture tu sendiri. So architecture tu sangat-sangat penting. Ini selamat sebenarnya. Ya betul. Storage capacity memang dalam pay per use ada, monthly pun ada, yearly pun ada. Kalau macam cloud memang dia ada yearly. Tapi cost retention pun sama lah. AWS pun ada cost yearly, tapi dinasihatkan untuk ambil kupon base ataupun dia punya discount ni lah, discount plan. GCP dengan Azure pun sama, tapi diorang punya discount plan lain sikit. So kalau kita ni as a start nak buat digital agency, nak jadi freelance, nak ada resource sendiri, adalah advisable tanya account manager, dapatkan kupon. Diorang ada diskaun kupon sebenarnya. Kalau tak ada tu tipu lah. I was involved with Google as a contractor externally untuk support one case. Diorang sebenarnya ada diskaun. Bila check ada diskaun dalam database, memang ada diskaun. So you can actually apply. Tapi I think it's only limited to business lah. So you have to discuss business plan.
Okay, Johar, ada satu soalan.
Sharing one question from me. So you explain how will you approach a project that need to implement DevOps as a starter. Okay, biasanya kita kena tengok dekat area mana dia sekarang. Maksudnya development, how the operation works. Most of the time operation yang lacking in terms of collaborative development, dia akan ada isu kat situ. So dari situ kita boleh propose to automate a lot of things, not just the operation to build in development and also, but it's also applicable to operation side. So with that said, is a good start sebenarnya. Tak kisah besar kecil, semua perlukan.
I have one question for you.
Yeah, sure.
on behalf of my student as well. Okay, I believe that the fundamentals of cloud computing being taught in universities, because all of person that join this webinar is Bachelor in Information Technology, web technology.
Okay.
So the content of the course is very, very fundamentals.
Okay.
So if they care to join this cloud computing expert, maybe you, I believe you are already a cloud Alibaba administrator, something like that, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, and then
I have like partnership with them.
And then you mentioned the AWS, the Azure, and maybe Google Cloud. So, in your opinion, what is the best way to kickstart if a student try to explore in the real environment so that they can choose this as a part of their career?
Okay, there is actually I would like to share. I do. Okay, by the way, this is my GitHub. So, oh, sorry, my bad. I think I did not share my screen. Presenting again. Okay. Can you see? Okay. Okay, in here, if you go into my GitHub account, I have either you go to Teratak Repo or you can go to certification guidebook. I did make some notes here. You can Google it, and there is a virtual lab that which you can use. Ada credit, you can apply for credit with your rasanya student UTHM ada student email kan, betul?
Ada.
So kalau ada student email lagi bagus. You have you will get a lot of credit sebenarnya.
Kalau Azure, they will get 100 USD for students.
Actually you boleh dapat 300.
300
100 sebenarnya just a standard registration. Kalau you email to them that you are student and you need help, don't mention about you want to subscribe here and there. You just mention that you need help in understanding in cloud computing, then they will give you another extra 200. Sometimes I believe some of my friends who are actually doing masters back then dapat 1,000 untuk dia punya master dengan PhD sebab dia fast track, so dia dapat 1,000 credit.
Sebelum ni I'm trying AWS and Azure. The package it seems promising from Azure because of the free for student. But once they are deploying something, the credit is out. And then ilmu tu belum lagi matured enough, student dah nak di-charge kan. Jadi I believe there is some other way that maybe industry can give a point or any information on this matter.
Okay, kalau kalau you directly not under labs, memang you akan, orang kata apa, recharge, dia punya recharge tu lain macam sikit lah. Tapi kalau you under labs, then you will not be charged like that. Sebab tu kalau tengok dekat sini, I ada kempikan lah.
Kalau dalam GitHub Johar tu ada
Ada.
Okay lah.
So you can take a look on this. Ada juga source untuk anda nak ambil certification. Ada banyak lah.
Can you share your GitHub link?
Sure.
Dalam message tu.
I will share with you my Teratak Repo, which is a combination a lot of things here. You can take a look.
Itulah, saya pun nasihat student juga, macam final year project dia apa semua kan, PSM1, PSM2, we call it project sarjana muda 1 dan 2, supaya dia orang post dia orang punya development ni dekat GitHub, so that everyone, someone ataupun recruiters akan pinpoint lah dia punya kompetensi dalam IT apa semua. Sekarang orang scouting pekerja macam tu dah sekarang.
Betul. To be honest kan, lepas saya graduate KPTM, saya start kerja dengan sekejap, lepas tu freelance.
Sekali.com.
Cuma sekali lah. To be honest, dia punya most of the work that I get is actually through Stack Overflow. Kalau you ada issue in Stack Overflow, this is the best platform you can ask people. Like for example, how to do programming. So pretty much dia banyak perkara kat sini, tapi what the best part is actually if you looking for job, this is actually the best way, and they will take a look on your account. That is something interesting lah. I show it to you.
Itulah biasanya student kalau pergi Stack Overflow ni dia akan find the solution. Tak tahulah dia orang ni, dia orang contribute solution ke, involve dengan discussion ke. Sebab sekarang ni masuk tahun ketiga, benda ni dah kena buat lah.
So kat sini kalau you ada macam discussion kan, my suggestion lah, kalau in the future mungkin you have macam nak tanya something walaupun simple, you can just push it in here. The more point you receive, basically the more visible you are dekat dalam ni lah. So bukan ni je, ada banyak macam sekarang ni ada platform for remote, so which I recently got a gig for short time in TalkTel dengan Turing. So basically you can become freelance in here. Diorang memang sangat-sangat tak tengok where you come from. They will just hire you based on your skills. So feel free to browse later on. I will share with you here. So that's for it, and saya rasa macam there's a lot of there, tapi ini yang saya pakai lah dan saya communicate. Ada juga dalam Telegram tapi Telegram is not much lah. And also involved with local community scenes that will help you as well. Okay, I think ada from Amina Group. Great sharing, Mr. Johar. One question from me. Throughout your experience, how will you approach the project needs? Oh, ni macam tu. Ni dah.
There's another question, sir, from Chi Bing Wei.
Apakah pendapat Encik tentang sistem yang sekarang? Adakah sistem yang masih sama untuk user? To be honest, ia macam ada atas pagar, tapi but I believe nowadays they started to see local hiring, sebab to be honest kita punya local talent is much better than outside, to be honest. So kalau you graduate, don't feel shy to show or showcase your work, ataupun to say to the interviewer that you are good in it, because if you take a look on it, my past experience, I'm just a guy from Malaysia, doesn't know much in it, but I'm able to step up in foreign company, which this is the way showing that local talent has the capability or the capacity to do the work. Dia jangan letakkan borderline ataupun dinding di hadapan semata-mata, takutlah my work is not good, my GitHub is not that great. Then if you feel that way, start now. Don't wait. What are you waiting for? Are you planning? Keep planning stuff. It doesn't work like that in real world, especially. Okay, getting back to this. I would say selamat, but of course this kita kena tengok dari sudut mana. Most of the time yang issue diorang ada exploit, ada Data sharing was actually an old stuff which diorang korek daripada old mini site dan diorang reverse engineer, which is yang ini. Kalau you work in the bank in the future, I hope that you can change the mindset, because most operation doesn't care, and it happened that the issue came from the management itself. So you have to be outspoken to say that it is wrong and it doesn't work like that. I hope that saya harap dapat menjawab lah saudara Chi Bin Wing. Anything else?
There's one more question, sir, from Muhammad Amirul Hakim.
If a company has a cloud server, does it need to do daily physical maintenance or does it? Okay, so soalan ni ada dua side. Satu is the cloud server, satu in the data center. So kalau you in the cloud server, pretty much physical maintenance tu tak ada sangat. More like a monitoring or administrate the resource. Tengok resource macam mana. Tapi kalau you daripada data center side, there's a lot of physical maintenance that you have to do. Sometimes you have to put a plug off a couple of rack server to exchange with another one. So again, architecture is something that you need to know. With that being said, it will help you to do the maintenance, physical maintenance itself. Sebab kalau you tengok in the past, kalau dulu physical on premise, diorang akan downtime kan agak lama nak boot out everything. Now kalau nak boot out tu semua cepat. Sebab apa? Sebab diorang architecture wise dia scaling vertically or horizontally. So diorang just terminate one resource, another resource is actually still serving the client. Where do you see web development career in 5 years? Okay, kalau the web development takkan pernah there is as far as I know, there is no full stop to it. You can just go with it, but the paradigm technology will be always change. Kalau macam sekarang ni, I boleh cakap kalau you into programming, Python, yang mana yang dah solid sampai sekarang, Python, Java, lepas tu JavaScript. JavaScript ni agak subjektif sebab dia merujuk pada Node.js dan lain-lain. So ni adalah antara 3 language yang saya rasa dia dah matang dan banyak resource untuk kita dapat. Maksudnya kalau ada isu kita boleh tanya orang, boleh dapat. It would be lah. Ada apa-apa lagi?
So actually I have a question. So earlier you talked about the Python programming, right?
Yeah.
You said you love it and so on. So may I know how you started doing the programming, like from where you got the interest and everything, how you started it?
It was started like from university lab. I would say because of it was hobby, if I'm not mistaken. Back then after Dr. Suradin class, I was left in the lab looking some I would say some how to damage the lab somehow. So I play a lot of scraping by then because due to anxiety, curiosity, out of curiosity. So it was something like that. So, and then it become advanced in some way. So yeah, it does happen.
So From where you got the reference or sources for the codes and everything?
GitHub, Stack Overflow. That is the best solution or best place that you can. Anything else? Anything else?
Another question, sir.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
what is the range of salary as a cloud administrator?
If asking about local, I would say pretty much like the junior level would be 5,000 starting as a base fresh graduates. But that one you have to be a proficient before joining the company. So it's about your repository, how you manage your GitHub repo, and also a lot of like sharing session throughout the community. Then it will help you use up with that figure. I do, yeah, but of course, I would say it depends on how you sell yourself during the interview as well. So without that, you will not get the job, or maybe you get the job, but it doesn't last long. I had a junior under me like a couple of years ago in the company, where I felt that when I give the task, he start dilly-dallying, so I know where it's going wrong. Because during the interview session, I was not there. So yeah, and of course, if you want to sharpen your knowledge, you can always go for some website that can sharpen your skill, like HackerRank. Yeah, you can go there. HackerRank. Let me go to it. Yeah. So in here, it will test you a lot of things to match up what the company needs and all. I don't use this, but in the past, most company that I joined, they are using this as a supplementary for you to do stuff or to go. Okay, I can see there is you are now freelancer, right? So macam mana Encik nak bagi tahu Encik freelancer untuk bagian cloud computing ni? Okay, so basically you do promote your stuff. You know how it works, what the business requirement, then you state the price. On top of that, always be prepared with a lot of uncertainties. So don't overpromise. That's one thing. And then work and don't work for a cheap price. Just because you want to get the project, you're willing to negotiate until you are actually broken and tear apart after you get the job. So be careful with that.
Any other question, guys?
So, I think that's all the questions.
Okay. Anything else that you want to ask?
I think I can give a few minutes before we end the session, because hopefully we're going to have a few questions related to the topics, and maybe a general question related to IT or web technology.
Yeah, sure.
It is.
Open.
Jangan tanya solution untuk PSM dah lah.
Anything else? Come on. Okay, penting ke certificate untuk jadi freelancer? Okay. As a freelancer, yes. Yeah, you have to. If you don't have that, it doesn't mean that you can't get a job. You can get a job, but you have to convince them. And part kalau kita nak convince orang ni agak susah. So you have to have some sort like a tangible stuff that you can show. At least GitHub. Sebab tu I rasa apa yang Dr. Zuraidin pesan is a good advice. So please follow. So anything else? Up to now?
Oh Johar, ada seorang tu tanya lagi tu.
Mau check ni? It's okay. I mean, yeah, this fella is always like that. Okay, why you just offer freelancer as a career compared to a full-time job? And what is the biggest challenge as a freelancer? Okay. To be honest, the reason why most of the time was actually about family. So I am a person who actually a family guy. So most of the time I will be at home. So right now I have one son who is actually need a special care. And before that, when I was single and not married yet, I used to travel a lot. So I love the freedom where you can work anywhere you want, at time you want. Which back to this, the result is what matters. So because at the end of the day, the boss only sees your result. So why you bother your staff and butt to go to the company, to work, to commute in the heavy traffic jam? Yeah, most of Malaysian, according to the statistic from BOSOM or Department of Statistical Malaysia, 80% were actually working adult, mostly commute more than 60 km per day. So right now, after pandemic, you can see a lot of news saying that government need to study over this issue, traffic and all. But that was a nonsense because we have been blessed to experience working from home 2 years. So why not? It will be changed. Only a crucial position would be, I would say, suggested to be in the office. But of course, it was subjected to it. Biggest challenges as a freelancer is time management. You have to be precise and totally disciplined over it. So even, to be honest, with what I'm right now, you have to, I have a couple of projects running on the side, and also I'm managing a new company as well. So I would say most probably is actually the discipline that you have put into it. So that was the biggest challenge, but of course it wasn't after you look at it. On top of that, I think health. So you have to be good in health. If you are not good at it, you will not deliver things, you will not get a job or project. Yeah. Okay. Do you think we can survive or earn more as a freelancer in the field? There is an answer for this, yes and no. I will go to the no part first, the bad news. The bad news is that you have to compete with a company. Most company is actually, you will find is actually a wolf or tiger or dragon level. So you have to compete with that. So in order to compete with that, normally I would suggest you to collaborate with them to comply. So you can work with them as an external party. With that, it's a win-win situation. If you want to go ahead representing yourself, dan nanti is you will be experiencing hard situations. But of course, it will be fruitful because dia akan bantu kita in the future. At least we have that experience. And then kalau on the good side, macam I tadi lah, dia ada pro and cons. So kalau surviving ni, you kalau earn more tu, I would say your punya income stream akan dapat ada banyak sebenarnya. Itu je lah. And then of course you akan dapat experience pelbagai. Okay, another one is kita ada banyak jenis cloud computing kan? Ya, betul. Apa pendapat Cik Johar tentang green cloud computing? Okay, green strategy. Macam mana nak kita tahu computing yang bentuk? Okay, green strategy ataupun green energy ni. Dia sebenarnya normally we don't do or look at it lah. It's more like how people sees sebenarnya. Tapi in the nutshell, it wasn't that way. So most of the time, kalau kita nak cakap pasal green cloud computing, that is the most advertised approach. But if you take a look on the how to applicate, doesn't work like that. So, but of course, if you're talking about green approach strategy, then I would say it depend on the business. Sebab some certain business dia tak sama tau dia punya business plan. So you have to be aligned with the business plan and also requirement. So kalau in term operation, itulah you kena tengok tu. Lepas tu kena tengok will or objectively or goal of the company. Kalau dia tak align, cash reserve ataupun financially for company untuk support cloud, itu akan membebankan lah. Boleh jadi membebankan. Kalau tak, dia akan exponential lah. Macam Facebook sebenarnya ada 1 tahun dia ada isu pasal nak bayar data center. Dia ada 1 tahun tu berapa bilion lah dia kena bayar satu dunia punya data center. So what they did, they re-strategize the strategy lah. Kalau cakap pasal save energy tu, dia sebenarnya tak save energy sebenarnya. Tapi of course kalau cakap pasal lain-lain macam using solar energy, then that is the way that they do lah. Even data center for most data center dekat China are using solar panel. Facebook punya pun sama, solar panel, tapi dia ada dua lah, yang macam convertible electrical dengan solar panel. Sebab sometimes bila buat contingency for disaster recovery, kadang-kadang ada failure tu. So kalau pernah tengok data center server dekat Ketika ke itu meletup due to solar panel overload. So lepas tu dia jadi isu lah macam-macam. Okay, and then ada satu soalan lagi. If I may ask, sir, our context of today's topic is, pardon me, have you ever felt a certain point of discouragement or feel like giving up? Yes. Of course, ada juga sebenarnya encounter one phase which after that, after a few months, I didn't get a job. I mean, I'm totally after I do business startup before, after dapat seed by AngelList, our project has the issue. Then suddenly tukar business to the software house. Memang ada isu lah untuk maintaining and all. So bila go to that direction, it's always to be, I mean, bukan nak kata comfortkan diri, bukan nak katakan put yourself into delusional way, tapi you have to be in mind and release on this. Always to harden yourself, harden your heart, orang kata ayat kasar lah, pergi mampus itu semua orang, sebab kadang-kadang isu tu sebenarnya datang daripada orang, so why you bother to hurt or listen to them? All you have to do is keep doing it. Even right now, I have a financial issue. I still keep doing myself what I need to do. That's what matter. It doesn't work like if you keep thinking about the issue will not solve. Kalau you fikir masalah dalam programming, kalau you fikir masalah saja, it doesn't solve. You have to think about the solutions, fikir how to do. Kalau there's no solution, you have to do. You have to make the solutions. That's what it tough for me until of the day. Hope this help you, Charan Kumar. I think you can do.
Yeah, yang apa, we need to find a solution kan.
Yeah.
Sebab kalau kita pilih bidang ni memang macam tu. Kita jadi support system, kita jadi solution provider, benda-benda tu. Jadi kita yang perlu memikirkan untuk memudahkan orang lain. Selalu kalau dengan student saya akan cakap lah, orang IT ni it's like a candle in the wind. Dia membakar diri sendiri sebenarnya. Orang cakap guru apa semua kan. If you join the industry, awak akan lihat lah kita punya part dalam management, dalam operation tu macam mana. Kita sebenarnya adalah more onto supporting. Sebab orang akan menggunakan IT. Tak kisahlah bidang apa sekalipun, dia akan menggunakan IT. So that is the thing that I want to share lah. Jangan rasa kecil hati, give up dan sebagainya. Hati kena kental lah itu. I'm just saying this bukan nak worrying everybody. Cuma saya memang berharap lah student saya ni bila dia dah habis belajar tu, dia akan senang adapt dengan industri. Okay, what we are doing so far in university, I believe it is less than 30%. The pressure, the assignment, the tasks and everything. I would say it's 10%, tapi nak sedapkan cerita, I said the 30%. Out there, okay, you going to find various type of human, various type of people, and then you must have the strategy to solve the problem. This is what I said before. The university is a place, or you know how it is the place to learn how to learn. That's it.
Yep, it is totally correct. About the person itself, macam, to be honest kan, Dr. Zuraidin, for me, education part is actually contributing about 5%. Sebab the reason why, because it's more like a kid when you go outside. So it's just macam first aid kit. Kalau you have something problem, that's what you always get back to it. So that is why I told this myself. If I'm not good at it, that's fine. You can always learn and do it now. And of course, you have to toughen yourself. Okay, ada soalan kat sini. Okay, Charan, okay, you welcome. Ada soalan sini. So, what is the use of Python in web dev? Okay, Python in web dev. Okay, for your information, Python is actually a quite universal language sebenarnya. Regardless of what you want to do, you have the capacity to build things like mobile app, web app, scripting for packaging, kernel, a lot of things. I do mostly with Python is actually for data mining or data analytics, and then I do for scripting, and little bit for project macam Python with Django lah or Flask. So that's the use Python for me. I'm Irul Izan. Welcome to industry. He knows. He's here.
Ada soalan ke Mak Yunus Ma'ruf? Tak ada virtually clapping his hand.
Itulah.
Tak ada, Doktor.
Okay. Rasa Hamsawani, I guess that's all kot. Dah banyak juga question yang dah diberi kepada panel kita.
Okay, Doctor.
Okay.
So thank you once again, Mr. Johar, for all the answers. So before ending the session, do you have any last advice or suggestions to be given to our audience today, Mr. Johar?
Last advice, I would say start now, don't wait. Start now, don't wait.
That's the thing.
So I think that's the best advice for today. And Dr. Zuraidin, do you have any last few words for our session today?
Okay, I'm actually interrupting a few talk by Mr. Speaker tadi. Okay, I don't want to add anything anymore. Like what Mr. Johar said, don't keep waiting. Just throw yourself and make yourself ready. And because this is very crucial, as you know, our economy is very uncertain, and then the chances of fitting yourself into the industry is quite challenging. There's a lot of candidates, so you must have something valuable that industry eyeing for you. Okay, this is the time. All right, and I just want to say thank you all of you to join this webinar, and thank you for the group that in charge of this webinar today, and of course a very huge gratitude for Mr. Johar Jaafar for his sharing knowledge and a good session, I believe, and a good advantage would be to all of my students. Okay, that's all from me, and once again, thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Zuraidin. So once again, I would like to express our gratitude and appreciation towards our respected guest speaker, and also thank you to all the participants for joining the webinar and for your active participation throughout the session. I hope you enjoyed the program. So thank you. Lastly, I would like to request all of you to turn on your camera so that we can make this session a memorable one. So please turn on your camera, everyone.